Welcome to Bank of Tales. Today we are looking at the reality behind one of the most successful authors in history, J.K. Rowling. This is not just a story about writing a book. It is a timeline of severe poverty, domestic abuse, clinical depression, and facing 12 consecutive corporate rejections. This video details exactly how a single mother relying on government welfare built a billion-dollar empire. At the end of the video, we will also give you 10 vocabulary words from the story. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's story.
Bank of Tales.
The year was 1990. A young woman named Joanne was sitting on a crowded train. The train was traveling from Manchester to London. Suddenly, the train stopped in the middle of nowhere. It was completely broken. Joanne had to wait on that silent train for 4 long hours. She had no book to read and no pen to write with. She just looked out the dirty glass window. Suddenly, a picture came into her mind. She saw a young boy. He had messy black hair and round glasses. He did not know he was a wizard. He was going to a secret school for magic. The idea hit her like lightning. For the next 4 hours, she sat on the stopped train and dreamed. She created ghosts, magic teachers, and a dark castle in her head. She was so excited. As soon as she got home, she started writing. But life does not always care about our beautiful dreams. Very soon, a dark shadow fell over Joanne's life. Her mother, who was her absolute best friend, became very sick. 6 months after that magical train ride, her mother sadly died. Joanne was broken. Her heart was in deep pain. She never told her mother about the boy wizard. She deeply regretted this for the rest of her life. Joanne needed a fresh new start. She packed her bags and moved to another country, Portugal, to teach English. She thought the warm sun would heal her deep sadness. There she met a man. They fell in love, got married, and had a beautiful baby girl named Jessica. But the happy days did not last. Her marriage quickly became a terrible nightmare. Her husband was cruel and violent. One night, he threw her out of the house into the cold street. Joanne had absolutely nothing, but she had a mother's fierce, strong love. She took her tiny baby daughter and ran away. She traveled back to the United Kingdom, to a cold city called Edinburgh. She felt completely destroyed. She was a single mother. She had no job. She had no money at all. She had to ask the government for poor people's money just to buy simple food and cheap milk for her baby. She rented a tiny, dark apartment. The winter was freezing cold, and she could not afford to pay for heating. Mice ran across the dirty floor. During this time, Joanne felt a deep, heavy darkness inside her mind. She felt completely hopeless. She thought she was the biggest failure in the entire world. This terrible feeling was so strong that she later put it in her famous story. She created dark monsters called dementors. They were creatures that sucked all the happiness out of a person. That was exactly how she felt inside her dark mind. But Joanne had 2 very important things keeping her alive: her beautiful baby daughter and the secret story of the boy wizard. Because her apartment was too freezing to sit in, she put baby Jessica in an old stroller. Joanne walked the cold streets of Edinburgh for hours. She pushed the heavy stroller up and down the hills until her tired baby finally fell asleep. As soon as the baby closed her eyes, Joanne ran to a local coffee shop. The cafe was warm, and she could buy 1 cheap cup of coffee and sit there for hours. While the baby slept safely beside her, Joanne wrote. She did not have a computer. She used a cheap pen and old pieces of paper. She wrote on paper napkins. She poured all her pain, her deep love, and her lost hopes into the story. The magical world was her only escape from her sad, poor reality. For 5 hard years, she wrote. Finally, she finished the massive book. She typed the whole story on an old, broken typewriter. It was called Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. She was so proud of her thick stack of papers. She went to the public library and found a list of companies that printed books. She carefully sent her precious story to a literary agent. The agent liked it and agreed to help her. The agent sent the beautiful book to 12 big publishing companies. Joanne waited by the telephone every single day. She prayed for a yes. But the answers started coming back in the mail, and they completely broke her heart. The first publisher said, "No, this book is too long for children." The second publisher said, "No, this is too boring." The third said, "No." The fourth said, "No." 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All 12 big companies totally rejected her book. They completely threw her beautiful dream in the garbage. They said nobody would ever want to read a long story about a boy wizard. Joanne was crushed. She cried holding her baby. She was still poor. She still had no job. She had been rejected 12 times. Most people would throw the papers in the fire and quit forever. But Joanne did not quit. She looked at her book. She knew the story was special. She believed in her magic, even when the whole world was totally blind to it. Her agent sent the book to one last, very small publishing company. It was called Bloomsbury. The boss of Bloomsbury took the first chapter home. He did not read it himself. Instead, he gave the papers to his 8-year-old daughter, a little girl named Alice. Alice sat on her bed and started reading. An hour later, she came running out of her room. Her eyes were wide with pure wonder. "Daddy," she said, "this is so much better than anything else. I need the next chapter right now." Because of the simple, honest love of one little 8-year-old girl, the boss decided to print the book. They called Joanne and gave her the best news of her entire life. They said, "We will print your book." But they also gave her a serious warning. They said, "Joanne, you need to find a normal day job. You will never, ever make any money from writing children's books." Joanne did not care about being rich at all. She was just incredibly happy to finally hold her real, printed book in her hands. They printed only 500 copies of the first book, but then something totally impossible happened. The children who read the book told their friends. The friends told their parents. The magic started to spread fast. It spread from the United Kingdom to America. It spread across the oceans to every single country in the world. Suddenly, millions of children were reading about the boy wizard. Then, billions of people were watching the grand movies. The tired woman who had to beg the government for food money became the first person in world history to become a billionaire just by writing books. Today, Joanne, who the world knows as J.K. Rowling, gives away millions of dollars to help poor children and single mothers. She never forgot the cold floors, the freezing winter, and the deep sadness. Her life teaches us the most beautiful lesson about failure. Listen to her own famous words. "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life." Sometimes you have to lose absolutely everything to find your true power. When you're in the darkest place, When people reject you again and again, remember Joanne sitting in the warm cafe. Your magic is real. Keep writing your story. Keep believing in your dreams because the world is waiting for your magic to shine.
I hope you all enjoyed the story and took something valuable for your own life from J.K. Rowling's journey. All right then, let's move on and look at 10 vocabulary words from this story that you can easily use in your day-to-day life.
Number 1. Crowded. I don't like taking the train when it is too crowded. Number 2. Regret. I regret not telling her the truth sooner. Number 3. Fierce. A mother has a fierce love for her children. Number 4. Destroyed. His phone was destroyed when it fell into the water. Number 5. Hopeless. After failing the exam twice, he started to feel hopeless. Number 6. Escape. Listening to music is my favorite way to escape from daily stress. Number 7. Reject. The company rejected his job application because he lacked experience. Number 8. Crushed. She was crushed when she heard the bad news. Number 9. Foundation. Honesty and trust are the foundation of any good relationship. Number 10. Rebuild. After making a big mistake, it takes time to rebuild trust.
Thank you so much to everyone who stayed with us until the very end of today's video. We hope that J.K. Rowling's story gave you a great deal of courage and added something new to your English vocabulary. Which part of this story touched your heart the most and motivated you? Let us know by dropping a comment down below. Also, if you found this video valuable, please share it with your friends so they can watch it too. To hear more stories that provide valuable life lessons and to keep learning new things, don't forget to subscribe to our Bank of Tales channel right now. We will see you soon with another beautiful story. Have a great day, everyone.